let's look at the spiritual and the artistic clone. Um, let's start with artistic clone. Artistic clone, that can mean many different things as well. But let's look at art in general. We look at art in general, and we're talking about this notion of originality, and whether we're talking about a poet, whether we're talking about the many different aspects of hip hop, whether we're talking about a painter, whatever the gamut is in regards to art. So when we say artistic clone, we are talking about a so-called artist
Mm-hmm.
that is mimicking and emulating another person's art, another person's authenticity, so to speak. Let me give you a simple example. We look at hip hop. Hip hop would be considered an a archetype, so to speak. It would be considered organic. It would be considered the essence in regards to the makeup of it and what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say hip hop, I'm referring to not just the last period, meaning from the 75 to up to date. I'm referring to hip hop in its many different phases, in the many different time periods, in its many different names, and its vast um, aspect of what it is. However, today we see aspects of the music industry that is cloning hip hop. So when we look at the MC, we understand that you have the rapper in the music industry. The rapper is a clone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the rapper is created specifically to be what it is. Okay, and that's in not authentic. You understand what I mean?
Yep.
So this is what we mean when in regards to artistic clone. We're talking about an organic, original, archetypal person or being that is putting forth creation versus the clone, which is taking a archetypal, primordial, organic, original creation and mimicking it for whatever purpose it may be. It can be many different purposes. So we understand it is a synthetic construct when we talk about clones and cloning. It is not uh, archetypal, primordial. It is artificial, and that's something we need to be clear about. When we get into the artificial side of it, we're not talking about spirituality whatsoever. We're not talking about spirit and the animation of energy, so to speak. We're just talking about machinery and the external aspect of computation, so to speak, um, an inorganic aspect of computation. Now, when we say spiritual uh, clones, so to speak, they're connected because when we deal with something that is original, archetypal, and things of that nature, you're dealing with the spirit because you're dealing with the essence, and that's where that creation and that manifestation comes from. It is a conduit, so to speak. It comes from the greater essence of who and what we are. So that's primarily what we're dealing with. Or even if you want to go layman's terms and we say spiritual clone, we would be talking about religion. Religion would be a clone aspect of what we know to be true spirituality and the spiritual self. Well, I'm really like an artist by nature, so to speak. I've been in arts as long as I can remember. So in saying that, I really don't know anything outside of being authentic, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was raised. I was raised in the arts. I was raised as far as expressing myself. I've been raised to be creative and to be a manifester. So for me, I mean that's all I really know. I mean, and of course I've still been um, introduced to all these different types of television programming because I watch television. You know what I mean? I've
Mm-hmm.
I've been exposed to the programming just like everyone else. However, I did always have a foundation that connected me, or as you would say, aligned me to my greater self. And your greater self is your authentic self as well. And again, it's all connected. Your authentic self, if we talk about intuition, if we talk about the spirit, if we talk about the soul, it's all interjoined, it's all connected. So for me, authenticity is primarily who I am, just whether it's art or whatever experience it is, for me, it's always about creating. That's what it's about for me. It's never about being complacent. It's never about the last project that I was involved in, or the last project that I created or manifested. It's always about new creation, and challenging myself and tapping into um, that authentic self, and just walking in it and living in it and loving it, and knowing how powerful it is. And not only that, but also knowing how unique it is. Because at least here in America where I'm at, I'm very clear that the majority of people are not walking in their authentic self. The majority of people are clones to some degree or another. So I think that authentic self is very important. And again, each and every one of us can tap into an authentic self, but it's going to take work, especially getting through the programming um, and things of that nature. We can't be afraid to listen to that so-called voice of God